We ready?
How are you doing this week?
Great week. Yeah, fantastic.
What happened this week?
It went away.
Yeah,
It was
a
fast.
quick week. Yeah.
Yeah. Short week. We were just talking about that, Mr. Meyer, behind the scenes, the behind the curtain that runs us. Mr. Myers just had mentioned that on a short week they seem to go longer. It just kind of one
A
of
lot
those.
more is packed into a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, quick reminder, this is From the Ground Up with Helena Public Schools. I'm Taylor Lassiter, and this is Superintendent Rex Welts. And
Thanks for having me.
yeah, well, you're here every week, or every other week.
Every other
Makes
week.
sense, yeah. And as a side note, we'll do shorter kind of episodes here and there too, talking about more specific things. I think something that's coming up is our Week of the Young Child in April, and so we'll have some guest speakers talking about kind of what that entails, what to expect for kindergarten next year, or kinder sprouts, all of that. So a little side sprinkle. But I thought today, let's talk about kind of some hard-hitting stuff, something that as a nation people recognize that have been going on, and it's been happening a little bit since before COVID, but teacher shortages, retention, and kind of what we're doing about those topics and how we can retain and recruit.
Yeah, that has changed. It was just with a bunch of students, Stagger and Ox, the gifted and talented students, and we had talked about, how things had changed. That they were asking, "You've been doing this for 30 years. How old are you, Mr. Welts?" I was like, "I'm 58." They couldn't believe it. But in those years of when I first started in the mid 90s, teacher shortage was not something we talked about. There was a lot of applicants for jobs. Through those years, you can see that we are starting to see that wane away. And where we used to have 100 applicants for a position, now we have 16. And so that puts it in context where it is difficult to find people that want to do this work. And so we had to be really cognizant and creative on how to keep the people that we have, and not only that, but just develop talent within our own conference. So within the school district, we are working right now on pipelines of building paraprofessionals to teachers and supporting paras that want to be teachers and teachers that want to be leaders, and we're building that pipeline as well, grow our own, if you will. We had 22 staff members here this winter that are interested in becoming leaders, and so we started an academy, if you will, on just what that looks like, so that we can bring people in from our own district to fill positions or be competitive for those open positions. What we do know around the country is that people are not moving from community to community to take jobs, right? It's difficult to buy houses, and so most of our applicants are going to be within the region. And so it makes a lot of sense for us and great for our staff is that we start building capacity with our own individuals.
I think that makes sense. I know that's something that kind of programming has been deployed across different districts throughout the nation. But what do you think now that we're just kind of launching it this year, what do you think this will grow into? Do you see it changing in the next 5 years to be a little bit more robust even to other avenues? So looking, to
I think so.
Maintenance even, and like those kinds of areas.
Yeah, literally this one is we're building this plane as we're flying it, right?
Yeah.
So we hit the ground running, we hit the air flying, and we don't have a full end picture of what it's going to look like. I know that building capacity so that those individuals can step into administrative positions as we have current principals that leave for a day, 2 or 3, that the teacher leaders can then step in and get that experience. It's how I got my start a few years ago. And so having that internal experience and being able to step in and run and then have support while you're doing that. So I think that's important. But it's the same thing with good teachers, is having paraprofessionals that know our system already, they know our kids, and so having them move into that leadership role as a teacher, that's important to us. But to your credit, do we have high school students that want to be custodians? Do we, those are positions that I think are important for us. So I think we look at all of our payroll groups and seeing how we can fulfill those vacancies with people within. Now, I'm not saying that they are the ones that are going to get the jobs. These programs, these leadership capacity programs, allow them to be competitive in the market, because we want the very best people working in our district and working for our kids. So we will always have that as our caveat. We want the best, but to give our own people the opportunity to build skill sets, That's really important.
Yeah.
Now, remember, even in administration, we don't have, I mentioned we have 22 people
Yeah.
that look at, we don't have 22 job openings for administration. So I fully realize that the capacity we're building in people, they may take that somewhere else. It could be anywhere in our region. And I'm okay with that because I fully believe in developing people for betterment of their family, for their career. So if we lose some because we're building them, that's the side of that.
Yeah.
That's a side effect that I'm willing to take.
Well, and they may come back too. I mean, look at
Absolutely.
some of our principals now. I think like our 2 high school principals, they came back over to Helena and have done a great job.
And we share resources.
Yeah.
Again, developing talent is important. It shows that we respect the people that we have, that we are invested in supporting them. It also gives them the opportunity to advance for their own family. And I think, I grew up in Montana. I went to Alaska, back to Washington, and furthermore back here to Montana. I've moved and advanced my career, and I want others to be able to have the same opportunity.
I want to go a little bit back to something that you said in the beginning. You were talking about, there just isn't this pool of candidates anymore. People aren't applying for these jobs or even pursuing, the teaching career. I've heard before that people just don't have, they'll say, that calling just isn't there for them. But even so, sometimes people get into the career and there's very real things going on like burnout. There's pay involved there too, that maybe that's a slippery slope. But are there other problems that you see, and do you have, besides kind of what we're doing already, but what do you foresee those remedies being? We haven't really made good strides as a nation to attack those problems.
Teaching is a noble profession. I knew, again, as I was telling gifted and talented students today, I knew as a sophomore in the spring, in Mr. Kruger's class, English, second row, third seat back. That day I said to the person in front of me, Brenda Fisher, I said, I'm going to be a teacher. I knew at that time that's what I was going to be. I knew I wanted to study sports medicine. I wanted to help people, and I wanted to teach. And so I knew at that time, and it was a noble profession then. It has changed. This is a tough gig right now. It's people would say that maybe COVID has changed. It started before that. It really did.
Unprecedented times,
And
quite honestly.
so knowing that, that perhaps what that pay looks like, what's going on from a state level and supporting education, and what's going on from a national level. There is an attack on education, on public education, and right, wrong, or indifference. That's what our people see. That's what we're hearing, and so that causes a lot of anxiety and distress within our system. It also puts a damper on those that are thinking about joining this profession. So there's a lot of variables in which we don't have full control over. But the bottom line is that there are fewer people that want to become teachers, and what better job? I can't think of one more important in our country than being an educator or working in the school system. By the way, my mom did for 25 years as a school cook.
We hear that a lot too. It kind of just goes in that.
My dad was a school board member. So it's in my blood, obviously. But for me as a leader, and us as a team here, a leadership team in Helena Public Schools, we also have to support those teachers that are in our profession, so that we know that we lose a lot of around this education system. The first 5 years is pivotal. Right? If we can support teachers in the first 5, they'll stay. And with statistics show that if they're not supported, that's when we see our biggest turnover and transition. So we just currently, Union President Jane Shawn and I, our 2 teams are working on a mentorship program. We're really going to stand up a robust in supporting new teachers as they come into the profession and mentor them up with a veteran, and support it the way that we need to. So, and it's not a one and done. You don't come in and sit and get from a teacher and say, this is how we do business, kid. Good luck, as I got. This is an adult with another adult, younger teacher that will be with them all year long. And so we need to be able to grow our own, develop a pipeline of talent, and then making sure that we support the teachers that we have.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I've seen it work well before. I'm excited what this brings for us. New things come about all the time, whether it's on like a federal level or a state level, but kind of working through those nuances, and having that veteran to not hold your hand, but give you that lift or that guidance, that's pivotal. What other incentives do we kind of have in place when we're looking at, okay, so we have the negotiated contract for what pay is, but what other incentives are there for teachers to stay, to show up on a day-to-day basis, those kinds of things?
Yeah,
or what are we looking into if we don't have them in place yet?
Yeah, I should. I know that you and our recruiter took off to a job fair.
Yeah.
What did you tell people when you were out on the road? I'd
Well,
love to know the story.
I kind of gave a lot of the questions to Riley because I obviously don't know a lot of what those nuances are on that side. But it was cool to hear.
Did you
about
sell the
some of
farm?
that.
Did you give away things that I'm not willing to talk about?
A lot of times I go, that's
Bonuses,
a great idea. Let me bring that up. And so there's those. But I know a few of our schools are actually doing like incentives to decrease the amount of absences going on in the classroom, and that's for students. So like they'll get a pass to, what is that? Trampoline park. What is that called?
Offline squirrel.
Yes, yeah. They're giving some passes
Sure.
for that. I think they're
Each school
with PTO on what that looks like. But I think that's a really cool idea. And what could we, on a larger scale, maybe something more age appropriate. Actually, that's not true. I love to go jump, but but more age appropriate. What kind of
So if you stick around a little longer, we'll give you a trampoline pass. That's awesome. I think you're onto something there, but I think as far as you're right. Each individual school is working on attendance. We want to stay above that 90%, 92% in all of our buildings. And so each building has the autonomy to build incentives for their attendance. We know that if kids are not in our buildings, they're not learning. And consequently, the same thing with our adults. But talking about what makes Helena Public Schools a great place for people to want to work, live, and grow. We have a really great healthcare system. Our benefit system there is self-funded. It's been really well. Consequently, we're also looking at joining. There's talk and some movement around joining that statewide health trust, and so we will still maintain that really great benefit system. We're very competitive in our wages. We've done a market analysis with all of our AA counterpart peers across the state, and we are not only average, but we're probably above average with where we start teachers and where they end in their career earnings. So the Helena Public Schools is a great place to be a teacher. It really is. We have a great contract represented by the union, and so I'd say that in all of our area, it's a super place to work. It really is. So I think there's incentives there, and as new employees, they don't fully understand what that looks like until they really get into the system. Because as a new employee, you just want to know where your room is, what's the kids, what's the curriculum look like, and then we start working on the side aspects of this job. More than ever, we need to be competitive, and we need to be aggressive in finding talent. We grow our own. We have programs here, but we've got to cast a wider net, because the number of people that we can capture and attract to Helena Public Schools is less than it ever has been before. So the talent pool's not there. So we got to cast a wider net to really get them in front of our hiring committees. And once we secure good people, great people, and then we need to take care of them. And that means that our benefits, our curriculum, the ease of understanding, the onboarding, making sure that they're supported by peers, mentors. All of those are really important to maintain them to be in our district. And working with our city, housing is a problem, and it has been. It was worse 5 years ago, and I see a lot of those Airbnbs and VRBOs. They are now turning back into long-term rentals, and so that makes it a little easier. But we've even ventured out as far as teacher housing, and still have some tangible outcomes for teacher housing, so that we can bring people in. We've lost individuals and teachers. We'd offer them contracts, and they would turn them down because they wanted to work here. They couldn't find a place to live. And so we lose talent that way. And so we are creatively thinking how we can work with our own means to provide teacher housing so that we can bring people on board. Same thing is bringing student teachers. I think that's a really important aspect. We have great university systems. We have young students. they can't leave their homes, their home districts to go student teach. So to bring them here, we're really looking at now foster families and see if we can. It's similar to what junior hockey does, right? Parents send their kids out to junior hockey and they live with a host family. We're looking at now asking our community to engage in bringing student teachers here, fostering them up for this 4 to 5 months that they're going to be working with us, so that they don't have to have that additional expense. As a student teacher, they don't get paid, all right? So they're paying tuition to come and work for districts, and we want to make that a little less complicated for them.
So this first Fast Five,
all right, here we go,
is kind of a two-parter. Favorite season and favorite activity in that season.
I think I've said before, and most of you know, my least favorite season is what just happened. I don't want to pile it, scrape it, melt it, move it. My favorite season's fall, absolute fall. And in that season, it's got to be camping. Love being on a river. My wife and I, dog. Yeah, it's the fall. You can't beat it here.
No, leaves falling. It's a gorgeous scene.
Yeah. You know, there's less people between Memorial Day and Labor Day. It's packed. It's hard to find spots. But in that late fall, where people are hunting and people are no longer in those areas, that pretty special.
Yeah, I agree. What is your favorite work of art?
Man, I like going down to the humanities on me. You know, you could think I would say something. I'll tell you, I won't pull one that out of a museum that I really like, but I have some in my office right now.
Yeah.
My favorite piece of work is the 2 drawings that my grandkids just sent me. I have no idea what they're expressing. There's color all over the place. It does remind me of fall, leaves everywhere. But it's when I get when I get paintings from my grandkids.
Oh, cool. I think a lot of people can agree with that too. Yeah. What is one job that you would like to do before retiring from work completely?
Before I retire or after I retire?
So, I mean, you can retire from this job, but like if you're like done working, you know, just sitting or walking around.
I've always said it. People that know me could answer this. I want to work in a children's hospital. I want to help. I want to help kids.
I think that tracks with kind of your
it's just
here. All right, next one. If you won the lottery, what would be the first thing you buy?
How big of a lottery?
Let's go jackpot.
Was it bingo or is it like big one?
Let's go jackpot lottery.
What would I buy? Well, I would. Kind of the same thing. You kind of see where my mindset's at right now. I would buy monthly tickets to Germany.
That's. I mean, it
would be two way. It's not one way. I would be, go over for the weekend, come back. I miss those kids.
A weekend is just the travel.
I know.
You would have to take at least like a week.
That's where I asked you if this is retirement, post-retirement, or during this time. So.
I mean, along those lines, post-retirement or at least retirement from a job that needs you here.
Yeah.
24/7,
yeah. So it's this job is 24, but if I could, there's a lot I would buy. Depending on how big this lottery would be, it's a lot of stuff for the school district. I would.
Airfare is not cheap these days.
You can do it once, and it's kind of once a year thing to go see grandkids in Germany. But if you had resources, it'd be monthly. Well, let's just go here. I'd buy a G4. I'd buy a jet.
Really?
Yeah. Just run it over there. Like why jump on an airline? I own my own.
Then you're looking at pilot's license, all that, which those fees can be hefty.
That's a bucket list.
Yeah.
If I was still, I taught and was educator and administrator in Alaska. If I was still up there, I'd have my pilot's license.
Yeah. The means are up there.
Yeah, Caravan 208.
What is that?
It's just a workhorse. It's a great turbine. You get above clouds.
Okay. All right, and then last one before your song of the week. If you could time travel, where would you go?
Oh, before my song of the week? Oh, I got a great artist for you to listen to. If I could time travel, do I get to come back?
Yeah.
Well, that's a great question, right?
It's not something that
because you could go somewhere that I'd leave everybody. I'd have a hard time with that. So let's go.
If you could come back, where would you go and then come back?
Where would I go? I would go backwards.
When would you go?
I would go backwards to a point where I could see my grandfather.
Yeah.
That Papa Fay. I'd go see him. So I'd travel back, but I wouldn't. And then I'd take my wife with me. Can I bring somebody with?
You can bring someone with on a one-way.
Oh, okay, one way. Oh, that just changes the game, Mr. Meyer. That's a different game. One way, back or forward. I wouldn't. Like my life right where it's at with who I'm with.
Cool. So
I'd
just
stay right here.
squash the machine and be done with that.
Oh, I'd save it for a rainy day.
Would you?
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah, you might need it. You want to get rid of a resource. I'm a hoarder.
You can come back to this point in the future.
Yeah.
All right. What's the song of the week?
Where I Belong
Okay.
by Mason Crow.
Okay.
Oh, Mason Crow. Picked up this artist here a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month. Raspy, southern vibe, tinge of rebellion, gospel.
Oh,
It's
wow.
he's just got a Chris Stapleton, deep southern, meaningful artist.
Okay.
This is a guy that you sit around a campfire
Yeah.
and listen to.
Late night campfire or getting at the campfire started?
Probably getting the campfire started, but it's evening time. Yeah,
Okay.
he's evening time. Lots of calm energy.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. You gotta
Yeah.
pick him up, listen to him, Spotify or wherever you pick up your music. This is the dude.
And we're not making any profits or royalties
Oh,
off
no.
that, just saying.
No,
give him a listen.
we're probably violate all kinds of copyright laws of supporting these artists.
They'll thank us one day.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Well, thanks
I
for
don't think
listening.
our influence is going to influence his
I
career.
mean,
No, I
who
do
knows?
not.
Who knows?
Yeah.
We could get a shout out one of these days.
Maybe.
Rex Welt's Helena Public School District got me up here.
Yeah, I don't. I think it's going to be reverse.
right.
We're not that famous. We're pretty humble around here.
Well, thanks for listening. Make sure you're looking at Community Corner webpage, our newsletters, and Bond Update website as well for anything coming up. Thanks again. Have a great weekend.
See y'all. Have a great weekend.
To